got pink wristbands?
We do. We're super excited to be here tonight. We love fashion and we really wanted to come down here and watch a show. So we're here to see
exciting.
Romance Was Born. Very exciting brand. We really loved kind of what they're
Many
doing.
like different patterns and prints. I'm really excited to see the new collection. It'll be so good.
Definitely. And yeah, this is such a beautiful venue as well. Carriageworks is stunning. So
amazing.
all right, Bonnie
now.
Media at Fashion Week.
See you in there.
Let's do it. Fashion Week was so incredible and Gabby and I had a blast being able to vlog little aspects of it, and then also of course just at moments enjoy the special night and really just get amongst, you know, some really amazing people doing amazing things. We went and saw Romance Was Born, which was an incredible label who are just so exuberant and full of life and energy and optimism in their designs, and it was just such a beautiful time to be able to experience that. Speaking of fashion, that is actually my background. So in terms of how I was able to learn these skill sets that I've been able to teach to the broader team, and where this agency really stemmed from is my experience working in fashion marketing in the past. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was so fascinating seeing how so many different elements in the fashion industry really affect marketing, and how marketing can then really skyrocket the success, particularly in the fashion niche. And it's something that everyone needs. And I know that I've heard, you know, time and time again, like, oh, I really want to do something in fashion, but everyone does it. And I think that if everyone's doing it, that means that people are having their wallets there and people are spending there, which means that it's likely a really good market to get a part of. And if it's really self-expressive and really fun to do, then you should do it. But nonetheless, I have some really good tips that I want to share with you guys in regards to marketing if you do have a fashion business that I think will be really helpful. However, do stay and continue listening and watching on, even if you're not in fashion, or even if you don't really have anything to do with that niche, because these tips can be applied across the board. So stay tuned. Okay, so when it comes to fashion marketing, the first thing that I would say is that you have to be super agile. Things like the weather, world events, all of that really affect consumer behavior. And this goes across every industry, but I think particularly when it comes to weather, this is really affected by fashion. If you're seeing a weather forecast across the country that is rainy, wet, cold, then you shouldn't really be promoting like strapless dresses or like something that isn't really applicable to what people's consumer mindsets are like. Or if you know that, say something, you know, unfortunately like COVID is very prevalent, you don't really want to be saying like, get your event wear dresses, which is quite insensitive to COVID, which sounds quite extreme, but it does have an effect on how your brand is perceived or how you should present yourself to the market. So being really agile into what the weather is doing, what's happening in the world as well, can really help you manage your spend. And it should be something that should be taken like day by day basis, and really kind of auditing what's going on and how you can best position your marketing spend and your time to do the best job possible. So the next thing that's really important is making sure that whatever you are promoting, that you have a relevant landing page to take them to that's usually filled with lots of options. So what I mean by that, let's just say you're trying to promote a white dress. If you then take them to a landing page that is, for example, new arrivals, but you're promoting like a white dresses type of advert that's all about white dresses, and you take them to new arrivals where the first white dress is like the 14th one down, and then there's like one other dress or something like that that's in green, you haven't really given a good landing page experience for a customer to convert. Whereas if you take them, say, hey, like, you know, a white dress destination, people click through and then land on white dresses. And then of course, whatever dress you promote is the one that's the first one seen, which is really great merchandising. You're providing that experience that kind of tackles any objection for the customer. So if they're going, I was looking for that dress, it's like, oh, well, it's the first one there, you found it. As opposed to like, oh, I never got the name of the dress, I can't find it, oh, I'm just going to abandon. All those things are really important in fashion to get right so that you can keep your cost per acquisition as low as possible. The next one is to use user-generated content. And I say this because, there's something uniquely and very special about having a diverse range of content to articulate your brand. If you only use e-com shots only that are white background, which is, still good in its own right, but if you don't have any kind of like dynamic content going on or showing that other people are wearing the product, hype is very real. And so if you can see that, lots of influencers are wearing X dress, or, this amount of customers have said all these raving reviews, it's going to really help your broader audience really buy into that story and buy into that vision of that piece and help that momentum drive more sales. So definitely don't rely on just whatever content you create. Make sure you're getting other people to take content of your product as well. The next one is particularly if you have a high returning rate of customers. So there are certain brands that maybe the life cycle is 1, and let's just say it's a wedding dress. And so the likelihood of someone actually going to check out with their wedding dress, it's unlikely that they're going to come back in the next 180 days, unless they want to obviously change their mind about their wedding dress. But usually the life cycle of that dress is 1. Only once are they going to come back. Whereas something that is as regular as something that does like everyday clothing, and maybe they do, collections all year round, it's important to make sure that your website is staying uber dynamic and having lots of change happen to it across those seasons and across those times. So that might be updating website banners, keeping your merchandising really fresh and updated regularly, because if those people who are advocates and returning and visiting your brand often come there and they're seeing the same thing that they've seen for the last 2 years, 3 years, it's not really going to provide a lot of incentive for them to continue to be advocates. People need to be engaged and continue to buy into the visions and the stories that you're bringing to life. But if you aren't doing that, you may be disengaging your base that you've worked so hard to get, and they might be going elsewhere where they get that engagement. Something to think about. The next thing is in regards to product relevancy and your creative. So it is super important that you are really coming out with products on time or even beforehand and kind of predicting relevant times to really push certain products. So for example, as soon as the cold front hits kind of in Sydney, it would be a good time to drop jumpers, coats, knitwear. Like that would be a really great time, not to sort of promote shorts or something like that. It's got to be really relevant to the time of year and what's going on. Potentially also think about Christmas time. It could be great, 2 months before that you start introducing gifting or gift wrapping or something along those lines to get people converting. So it's about being really prepared with that, but also supporting creative, because imagine you get to Christmas time, but you don't do any Christmas creative. There's nothing to say that Christmas is coming up. You might find that you're losing a lot of market share to other brands who are being super relevant about that time of year. Another example could be Mother's Day, and that potentially you do a whole campaign shoot around a mum and a daughter, or a mum and a family. That can really help your product be seen as a relevant gift for Mother's Day. If you don't do any of that, you might find that you might be losing a significant amount of market share by not investing in that type of content. The next thing, of course, is to continue to think how you can solve a customer's pain point. If you're in fashion, think about who your customers are and what are some things that they may experience. Maybe it's something that they often go to events, and so they often need, new dresses that they can wear to those events. Or maybe there's someone that is a busy executive and they need ongoing workwear. Who are your customers, and how can you make sure that you're continuing to solve their pain point and be of best value and of best service to them? Just open your eyes. And final one is to up your video content. We know how important video content is in this social media game that we're in at the moment. And we know Reels are going well, TikTok's going well, video content in general is captivating and keeping people on the platforms longer. So really invest your time and your money into producing video content, both like polished content that's great for YouTube pre-roll and great for building brand, but equally also your more raw, more like off the cuff iPhone clips, because people are really loving that like engaging, not as polished production as well. So keep that all in mind. I hope these tips were helpful. Just really thinking at the core what would help keep the fashion marketing going in that sort of business, and they would be the core tips that I would be thinking at the top of my head. Okay guys, I've probably had way too many coffees today, and now I've just had a tea, which I've heard has like quite a significant amount of caffeine. So I am going to sign off here. I hope that you guys have enjoyed this video. Dean, is this the end of the video? Is this the end? But that's all good. We are at the end of the video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that it has been helpful for you. If you've never seen a little insight into Fashion Week, I hope that that was really engaging for you to watch, and we'd love to hear from you about what you would love to see. I've seen in a couple of the previous videos a few suggestions. We would love to hear more from you and really identify what you would love to see next from us. And yeah, we have some cool things in the pipeline, so make sure to subscribe to the channel, make sure to like this video so that I know that you're enjoying the content, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!
Got a pack in the back and a seat on my left. What you wanna do?